Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. But you've got an accent, so I'm going to ask you where you're from.
I'm from Spain. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Whereabouts in Spain?
Sorry?
Whereabouts in Spain?
I'm from Canary Island. Have you heard
Never.
about that?
I don't know where that is. I have no idea. I
It's
know.
actually, yeah, it's not in the mainland. It's like very far from it. It's like closer to Africa.
Ah, okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool. I've never heard of that before. Never
Where
heard of that before.
Where are you from?
So I'm from the UK
Oh, from UK.
originally. I live in obviously Romania now, between here and Romania, Dubai, whatever. But I've been to Spain many times. But I've been to Malaga, Santander, Barcelona, as you do, the Balearic Islands, as you do, Palma,
Okay.
Mallorca. But I've
Yeah.
never heard where you're from.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you have a new place to visit then.
So I didn't catch your name again. Sorry, what was your name?
El-
Elena.
yeah, Elena.
Elena. Okay, cool. Right. So Elena, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm obviously from Spain. I'm 27.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been in TRW since 2023, but I actually didn't took it seriously until 2020, end of 2024, I would say.
Okay.
And I've been working thanks to TRW. I've been working from home ever since.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what was the delay in you taking it seriously and not taking it seriously? When you first started, why didn't you kind of take it seriously first off, or was there any distractions that you had?
Mm. Yeah, when I started, I was waitressing. I was working.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would say I didn't. Well, I didn't have the time, right? I would say I didn't have the time, but I also didn't believe in it. Kind of like I was watching the courses, and I was like, okay, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But then I went in totally. I stopped working. I stopped waitressing, and I started just video editing. I went into the CC plus AI campus,
Hmm.
and then I started to get my first clients, and I was like, okay, then it's real. It
It's,
works.
it's real. So, what made you turn the page into actually taking it seriously?
Well, I joined TRW because I knew someone that was in the Ecom campus,
Hmm.
and that person suggested that I would learn to edit videos so I could work with him.
Hmm.
So when this went like for real started to work, then that's when I took it seriously. When I actually had to create the videos and I had to get the work done,
Hmm.
that's when I started taking it seriously.
Okay, okay, cool. That's when you thought, okay, cool, no problem. So then you said you went into two campuses. You went into the SMC.
Well, the CC plus AI campus is like
Mhm.
one campus, but then they did like AI automation, and now it's like both. Like now it's like two, but yeah,
Okay.
uh, it was one campus before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you work with Pope.
Yeah,
Yeah, I say Pope's a
yeah,
genius.
yeah, it is.
How have you found his daily lessons? Do you listen to his daily lessons?
I
And do
used
you?
to, yeah, yeah. I used to listen to the live calls a lot
Mhm,
when he did them daily, and they were actually very encouraging. He has this energy. It bleeds into you, and
yeah,
that actually helped me a lot. Also he did like this master class
yeah,
uh, for a while. Yeah, I got a lot of value from those.
and that helped you to kind of move forward and develop your skills.
Yeah, especially mindset, because I would say, gaining the discipline to work on it every day and get better. That's been the difficult part for me.
Of course, okay, cool. So then you took time out and then you joined and you took it seriously. So then once you started to take it seriously, what kind of happened? What developed with yourself and then obviously monetary wise?
Well, at the start, obviously, no money at all. I made my first few clients, like one-off clients,
Hmm.
um, and then it started, started building. I started to make like repeated clients, and these clients became long term.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I started seeing the money, actually.
How,
Yeah.
how long was it before you? Let's say how long was it before you made your first? What's Spanish money?
Eu-
I can't figure what Spanish money is. What's Spanish money?
Euros.
Oh, you use yours. Okay, cool. How long was it before you made your first euro? Let's say that.
Um, I would say probably within a month.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
good. So you saw some benefit from that, and then from then on in, because that was in 2024, you said.
Yeah. End of 2024.
How's that progressed from there on in?
Yeah,
Once.
massively. Yeah, massively actually. Yeah, I would say the first few months from taking it seriously, like end of 2024.
Hmm.
Um, I would say February 2025, I already had a client that was like solid,
Hmm.
and I was working with them for a long time. And that's when I started to make, well, not crazy amount of money, but I was making 2K a month, around
Mm.
that.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
Sometimes a bit more. Yeah.
So it depends. It fluctuates from that. So have you got a consistent income now, a minimum consistent income now?
Yeah, I did up until like 2 months ago, and then I had a client that I just recently lost. So I had a bit of a dip, I would
Mm.
say, but I'm starting to
Back
get
up
back.
again.
Yeah, and it's been easier, since I have the skills, and I trust in that kind
Mm.
of.
Hmm.
So it's been easier to acquire more clients, and the dip wasn't too long.
Okay, cool. So how did you feel when you made your first money from your first client? How did you feel from that?
Yeah, it felt amazing. I couldn't believe it. I remember my first client was a 1 hour video, which was
Hmm.
awful to edit, but it paid off. And it was like, I don't know, $300. And I was like, wow, I've never made so much money out of
Just
like one thing, or,
one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it's progressed on from there. Did you treat yourself to anything nice? Did you take yourself out or do anything?
Well, not really. I bought a MacBook Pro, which is my
Okay,
laptop right now.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, which is such a great upgrade because it's just so good.
MacBook Pros are amazing anyway
Yeah,
because I think for editing,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, I think they've got the technology, the newest technology for you to
Mm-hmm.
do it fairly quickly. I'm on a MacBook Pro as well. But I also have a hard drive because I don't keep all my stuff on
No,
my MacBook. I kind of like just back it up. Once it's done, then it's done. So it frees up the space on my computer.
yeah,
Okay,
me
cool. What would, what would you say was like the hardest part about the journey from, let's say, from beginning till now?
too. Yeah, I would say consistency.
Yeah.
At the start, I was watching the courses, and at the first I wasn't like using them. I was
Mm,
learning how to use the software, but I wasn't actually using them.
mm,
So I would say the gap between learning the skill and actually finding it useful
mm,
was the bar for me. I went into the ecom world,
mhm.
so when I started getting into it and I made connections, then it was easier to move and find new clients. But there
Yeah.
was a bit of friction between using the skill, like learning the skill and using the skill.
Mm. What would you say was your biggest breakthrough, your biggest realization?
That's a good question.
No, I've got a few.
I don't know. Um, well, I would say I wasn't fast enough
Hmm.
before. I took for granted if I had an opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm excited for the opportunity, but I'm not doing everything I can to over deliver, which is something that Pope says a lot. You should
Mm,
be extra always.
yeah.
So I would say realizing that speed is key, which is something
Mm.
that we hear a lot, but actually you have to do it.
You have to
So
implement.
yeah, Speed is key, and consistency is also very important. You have to, especially when working from home. At least for me, it was a bit of it was a bit of chaos at the beginning because you're at home and you have all this time, and then you're like you're on your own boss, and you have to use your time wisely.
Yeah.
So finding a routine and being consistent with a routine, um, it's changed a lot for me.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So would you say that's how that's changed you as a person? So you kind of how would you say that's changed you as a person? Because I don't want to put words into your mouth.
Yeah, sure. Well, before joining TRW, I would say I was a totally different person than I am right now.
Mm,
TRW has changed my mindset in many ways, not just business, but also relationships.
mm,
And, that's leading to all the things like self confidence, training every day. I used to train every day, or sort of, but maybe I wasn't consistent. And
mm,
now it's like, okay, everything adds up.
mm.
So everything that you do in your life is going to help you in your business.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it's changed. It's kind of changed your. Has it changed your lifestyle in the way that you work, in the way that you go out, and or
mm,
if you go out or anything else? But has it changed your kind of lifestyle, your perception of like life in general, how you view things, what you buy, etc., etc.
yeah, it's made me a lot more aware of how I spend my time. that's
Yeah.
that's what I say. Like everything everything that I do now, I think about it like properly before doing it, right? Maybe before you were like, okay, I'm just gonna go out and do this or do that. But
Mm,
now it's like, okay, I've got work to do. So do I want to be spending time doing that thing?
mm.
Or how can I do so that I have a social life, but I still get my work done?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's made me aware in a lot of levels.
Has it changed your like being that little bit free? Has it changed like your mentality with regards to spending? Have you been able to kind of have new experiences? Has it changed your kind of like lifestyle in that way at all as well?
Well, I would say maybe not my lifestyle in like treating myself, but
Mm,
I'm able to help my family, which is something that I wanted to be being able to do,
yeah,
and I couldn't before, and I can now.
yeah,
I can help my family financially, but also I can be there with them if they need me, because I have my laptop, so I can go and see them, and I can still get my work done, and I can still enjoy with them and spend time with them.
yeah,
I can also help them.
yeah.
It's something that I feel like it's the biggest benefit for me.
I feel that's one of the most rewarding things about being having your own business, having your own doing your own thing, is that obviously when you earn certain amounts of money, whatever,
Mm.
your first port of call is kind of helping your family and moving towards your family and helping them out because obviously they appreciate it. But then for me, it's like a rewarding thing to actually just give back, um, you know, and because they've been given to me for how many years, so it's like it's nice to actually give back as well. So where does your business? How's your business now, and what's your like? Let's say your projection for the next 6 months.
Well, right now, I mentioned before that I had a bit of a dip,
Mm,
but I already know what I want to do. Like
mm,
I've had this clear goal for, I would say, more than 6 months now,
yeah,
and I feel like I'm getting closer to that. Money wise, I would
yeah.
like to being able to make 3K a month consistently,
Mhm.
and then obviously from there move up. But first goal is 3K a month consistently, maybe make it to the leaderboard,
Yeah,
hopefully. Um,
nice.
yeah, yeah,
Have you set yourself a plan on how to kind of navigate your way through that?
yeah. So I've got a position that I want to be working at with the ecom business.
Mhm.
I'm already, with a foot on the door. I already have a client that's hiring me to be, well, I don't know if you know creative strategies. They do like
Right, yeah.
yeah, all the strategy for the ecom. So that's what I want to do, and you know, I've been searching clients, found one. I'm actually starting to work with this client this week. So yeah, that's a plan.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, cool. So then from there, and you've been doing this for now how many years?
Uh, February 2025.
February 2025. So you've
Yeah.
seen a nice little kind of increase and a steady increase with
Mm,
that. Okay,
yeah.
cool. So what I wanted to ask, there was another question that I wanted to ask you. You mentioned before, and I can't actually remember what it was. Oh, my brain just gone to thingy. Okay, um, so then with the clients that you're working with, is there like a set fee that you're gonna like charge? How's that gonna help your business?
Yeah. So for this client that I'm starting to work with now is a fixed rate
Hmm.
plus performance bonus, which is great. So if the ads work and they make money, then I get a bonus. But I already have a fixed rate for doing the job. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all kind of like set in there,
Yeah.
and that's that one client. So then, how have you set yourself on how to have that client there, and then let's say get another three, four clients? How do you plan on doing that one as well?
Yeah, so I would say the skill, I'm still mastering the skill.
Mm,
So my short-term plan is to, you know, it's the first time that I'm in this position, like, well, it's not the first time, but like with a bigger brand.
mhm,
So my plan short-term is to become proficient at that skill and then become advisor for other brands. So maybe have 3 to 4 clients where I do the creative strategies for these clients.
mhm.
And yeah, eventually I will, if I do like uh 2,500 per client, then you know, you do the math.
Are they locally based or are they outsourced to different?
No, they're all outside Spain. Yeah, they're
Oh,
normally,
sorry, Spain.
yeah, they're normally Europe, sometimes UK as well.
Okay, cool. Have you looked at maybe doing something within Spain? I don't know how big
yeah I
your
thought yeah, I thought about it, but I don't know, I feel like sometimes, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're not as reliable. At least the people that I've found here,
mm,
they're not reliable as some people that I've found outside Spain. But I haven't done like, you know, a lot of research on that. I'm comfortable working with you know, English. So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I don't have a specific reason. It just hasn't.
Yeah, it's just the way you've done it. So is that reliable in the source of like your income, or is that reliable in the source of just like
Yeah,
um
they disappear sometimes. You know, in ecom, sometimes clients they are doing very well for a few months and they bluff, they disappear,
uh,
and that's happened to me before with obviously other people outside Spain. But I've worked with a few Spanish clients, and it always happens. So
mm,
I just haven't been able to make like a long term business with
business?
someone.
Yes, that's why you kind of push to
Yeah.
outside. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, cool. That's absolutely awesome. That's brilliant. Well, I'm going to wish you all the best. Thank you for actually. What time is it there?
Is 4:20.
Oh, so you're a few hours behind where I am at the moment. Okay, cool.
What time is it?
Um, yes, it's 6:20
Oh,
past 6.
okay. It's not a
So
lot.
you're in the middle of So sorry, a couple of questions. So what does your day look like as a student of the real world?
Yeah, so getting up early is my long-term fight. But I try to get up very early. I would say 6, half 6. Read my Bible, you know, have a bit of time for God, first few hours, and then I get to work. I use these first few hours to get like focused work.
Mm.
Then it's normally gym or I go for a walk. You know, being sitting all day is awful. So I try to go for a few
You need
walks.
that space. Yeah, you need that space for yourself.
Yes.
Like
So
it.
work, gym, work, and sleep.
Yeah.
Social life as well, because I have the flexibility and I can work around.
Yeah.
So yeah, it allows me to have friends as well.
Do you have any friends that are in the same? Because you said that you joined through recommendation of one of your other friends. So
Mm.
have you recommended what you're doing to any of your friends, or what would
Yeah,
you say to them if you needed to recommend them?
yeah. So
Recommend, sorry.
sorry, yeah. For anyone that wants to take a leap of faith, I would say,
Mm,
and kind of break free from what they're doing now, which is probably working on the corporate world like I
mm,
was. I would say it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take as much time as you think to learn a skill. And the tricky part is to find first client. So once you find that first client, like it happened to me, you gain the confidence, and then
yeah,
you move from there. So you have to really believe that it works, and
yeah,
just keep trying until you get that first client. Once you get that first client, you're going to be so much more confident, and you're going to be able to scale from there.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Have you suggested the TLW to any of your other friends?
Yeah, I have. They haven't actually, gone through it. But every time I hear some of my friends, and like say like, "Oh, I want to be my own boss," or I want to make more money. I'm like, "Hey, TRW is here. You can do all this."
It is.
So
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on.
yeah. This is what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to just revert back and just ask you, how did you obtain your first client? I forgot to ask you that one.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually the method that Pope teaches. He
Mm,
teaches cold email outreach. I was doing that, but I actually found my first client on Fiverr. You're probably familiar with Fiverr.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found my first client on Fiverr, and yeah, I don't use it anymore, but Upwork has been very helpful for me. Is where I found.
Is where you found that client. And then your other clients, how did you find them? Was that just through recommendation or was that through something else?
No, I found all my clients through Upwork and Fiverr. Yeah, and
Like,
then, well, this client that I'm gonna start to work now with, it was a recommendation from other people.
the
Yeah.
others. Okay, so have you built your own kind of like website with that? So you can put your, have you got like, what's the word I'm looking for?
So
Testimonials to
just
say how, yeah,
actually no, I haven't built like a website with testimonials. I do have like my portfolio with past performance of the ads, because that's what I do.
yeah.
But yeah, I do not have that. That's something I need to do.
Ah, see, there you go. Leaving you with some ideas to go on. I think that'd be a good, I think that'd be a good idea because obviously you've got your ads and everything else, and you've got obviously the
Yeah.
performance of related to that. But then if someone wanted to kind of like say search you, if someone heard of you and wanted to search you, I think it gives you a good avenue, especially with the testimonials on there from other clients. Even if you don't necessarily have them, you can just like say, okay, cool. How did you feel about the work, etc., etc., etc. Have them on there, and that will just kind of like maybe just give you that little bit of lift
Yeah.
for when you're searching for new clients. Because then some people look into the background of the people that they potentially want to work with.
Yeah.
If you've got something there to actually kind of justify who you are and
Mm.
justify your your good work ethic, what you've done, etc., that might just help lift just a little bit more as well.
Yeah, you're totally right. I need to contact my old clients and say like, hey,
Get them to write you a testimonial or give you like a even
do
a
something
voice
good.
message or something.
Yeah.
Um, just to like say, how did you feel about the work? Da, 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 da. And
Yeah, you're right.
you can even just poach them, say, how's everything going? Is everything going all right? Do you need anything else? Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
and then like see what you can hustle up kind of thing
Yeah,
from
yeah.
there.
Totally right. I'll write that on my checklist.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna leave you there. I'm gonna leave you to get on with your day. It was fantastic speaking to you. Thank you very much for coming on today. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. Um, you're gonna get your big client,
Thank you.
yeah, and then from your big client, you've got to obviously think about how you're gonna get another big client, and then keep that
Mm,
consistent, and then get into
to-
the bracket that you wanted to get into. So again, thank you very much for coming on. And again, I wish you all the best, and it was really, really nice speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. It was very nice speaking to you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.